Hey, this is Dr. Green, and today we're going to talk about the banded serratus plank hold. So let's dive into it. This is something that we tend to use a lot for shoulder stability, being able to kind of create strength around the shoulder and kind of offload the upper traps. So first we're going to start with a band kind of like right around the wrists, because the first thing we want to do is kind of create a little bit of outward pressure on that band to be able to get activation of the rotator cuff that we should feel kind of on the back side of the shoulder. So a little bit of tension straight out on the band. This is a decently kind of like tense band. It doesn't need to be super heavy, just something that adds a little bit of resistance there. Then we're gonna get in a plank position. So in order to really kind of like emphasize engagement of the serratus anterior, instead of being in like an extended position here, I almost want to like arch the back a little bit to see if I can drive my shoulder blades out and around. The next thing I want to do is make sure that my neck isn't extended, but my chin is tucked, and that way I can kind of feel those deep neck flexors working, okay? So a little bit of a round in the upper back, pushing my body away from the floor to kind of get that serratus working, keeping a little bit of tension out on the band, and then I can slide my knees back and push through, tuck the chin, and then just hold in that position, and it should feel like everything from my rotator cuff to my serratus muscle underneath the shoulder blade to the front side of my neck is pretty much on fire trying to hold. If I want to make it harder, I can elevate the knees and put a little bit more weight forward on that front side, okay? So the areas that we really want to be able to feel this one is serratus, so just underneath the shoulder blade by kind of pushing that shoulder blade out and around. The band is going to add a little bit of resistance to the rotator cuff to kind of hold in that position, and then keeping the chin tucked to be able to get deep neck flexor. And that way we're not kind of like fighting into extension when we get into under load and under tension. So really, really good exercise. Looks very simple, feels pretty challenging, especially when you use a decent amount of resistance. And we typically recommend this just to be able to kind of start feeling what it's like to stabilize in those positions and kind of not use the neck extensors, the upper traps, and things like that that can get a little bit bound up when that's the stability strategy that we use most often. So that's a fun one, very challenging. Definitely recommend giving it a shot. And yeah, let us know if you have questions.